Hi there, welcome back to True Gooner. And in this hangout here, we're just going to talk about the Manchester City game yesterday and just basically a few other things to talk about Arsenal. Tonight we're joined with Adam again. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thanks, mate.
And we've got a debut show for Wayne. How are you, Wayne?
Hey Seb, how you doing, Adam? You alright?
Yeah, we're all good, thanks. So, first of all, we'll just get their thoughts on the Man City game. So, Wayne, we'll start with you. What did you think of the game? Did you think it was a decent point, or did you think it was pointless score?
I suppose when you look when we got to 1-1, I think it was 1-1 at half time. I just snapped your hand off for a draw right then and there, like just to get that game over with. It was just an anticlimax of a game that I had no real interest in, bar the Southampton upset in White Hart Lane. Just kind of made it a little bit more of an excitement on our behalf. But I mean, our season has just petered out to the point of absolute boredom now. There's nothing to play for bar just getting over the line officially as regards Champions League spots. The match itself, we were terrible again. It's just becoming a habit now at this stage to play bad. It's not even they're not one-offs anymore. We've really had a really, like, it's difficult to say. Like, we're looking at the stats and whatever else, and we're third in the table. But to me, we've been really poor, you know. And I did think the league this season was good, but as in competitive wise, it had to be. It's the most competitive league since the league began, you know. I don't buy into the fact that okay, other teams have had seasons where they haven't been as competitive as they normally would be. But then again, United finished seventh, fourth, so that's pretty much their level. Man City, hot and cold, they're coming to the end of that team. It was always going to happen that they were going to come to the end of that cycle with that squad. Chelsea, didn't see that one coming. Liverpool had been 7th, 8th, so the top four was open, and the league was open to take. Like, but that's just it seems to be maybe a 6 or 7 year mentality for us that we just can't seem to grab the bull by the horns and take a chance when we have it. It's just happened all season with us. We had a chance to go clear 3 points 5, 6 times, and we just didn't do it. We stayed clinging on to the pack, and eventually got caught, taken over, and then just left behind. The match was, to me, I watched the whole thing. We didn't look like we were interested. Bar the two goals, we were blessed with the Giroud goal. If Vincent Kompany was playing, we wouldn't have scored that. The second goal was a well worked goal. I have to give Alexis Sanchez credit for it. But there was too many slack performances. I don't care about what the stats said about Aaron Ramsey. He had an awful game for me. I thought Wilshere actually was just on a different level to all of our midfield when he came on. I would have started. Why would you not start Francis Coquelin in that match? Just ridiculous. Like, you need to have a hold of the midfield in that match, and the defence needed protection. But look at that De Bruyne goal, the second goal they got. And for fuck's sake, the guy picks the ball up at the halfway line, wins a header from a goal kick, wins a header, gets the second ball himself, and then decides to carry it as far as he can go, and then just took a shot. Like Coquelin would at least take him down, you know. Halfway into that, 2 or 3 steps into that move, and take the free kick. I mean, just little things like that. Hector Bellerin had the worst game I have ever seen him play in an Arsenal shirt.
Yeah, well, Bellerin, he did make some good runs, but he didn't really look.
No, look, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, in my opinion, defenders have to defend before they have to attack.
Definitely.
And Bellerin seems to do this all the time. He seems to pick up the ball in the rightful position, and then believe he's a playmaker, and he looks for the winger to come short, and then tries to just play it into him, loses possession, and we're on the back foot. Like, I played left full, like, at an amateur level, like, you know, and I was always taught, if there's nothing on inside, if there's nothing on short, just hit the corner, and hit the channels, and it's their striker's job then to chase that down. But it's not Bellerin's fault if he gives the ball away and going over the top, because he doesn't have any people showing for him. But at the same time, you don't be so inexperienced and just give the ball away, you know, and leave everybody caught out. Like, he done that 5 or 6 times. he didn't win his header for the goal kick that led to the goal. He didn't take down De Bruyne on the way, and he didn't get the tackle in. That was just, for me, it was just like, it was just too. It was like I should have not words for it. I didn't enjoy the match. Didn't enjoy watching it. It was calamitous for me, and to get away with a point was fucking pure luck.
Yeah, I have to agree there because I'm still struggling to find my way how he actually got the ball because the performance was diabolical. It was very bad, but I think we were just fortunate that City weren't that good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get your thoughts on the game, Adam. What did you think of the game?
We were very lucky. Again, very poor performance. No real. Yeah, we scored 2 goals. Second goal was a well-worked goal. Drew was okay, I suppose, but not good enough for me. I thought Czech was at fault for both goals. I think he should be saved from both.
Yeah.
I agree.
I've said this I've said it a couple of times this season. Czech has had a bit of had games where I thought doesn't look what I'd expect him to be. Maybe it's because of our defence in front of him, which
struggles at that near post, doesn't he? He struggles at that near post.
Yeah,
doesn't he?
He does. Yeah.
He does.
It's always the near post.
He seems too slow. He seems so slow.
Yeah, getting down on his right-hand side, he seems to struggle. I've seen that a few times this season. He just can't get that right-hand side down quick enough.
But that second goal, you've got 3 men on De Bruyne. He's ran through about 25 yards. No one's made a challenge. Just foul him if you have to. No, but you know what De Bruyne is going to do. He cuts inside. He'll smash it in the bottom corner. He's done it against PSG. He's done it twice this season. He's been doing it early parts of the season. And going forward, we're just so lackluster. I mean, Sanchez was poor. Apart from the goal, he was poor. And I'm not afraid to say it. I love Sanchez, but he was poor. Very poor.
I agree with you, yeah.
And also, Bellerin and Monreal had I think De Bruyne and Navas gave him a horrid time yesterday. They didn't even get past the halfway line. Like you said, Wayne, they got to defend before they can attack. They just looked annoyed that they couldn't go forward. Well, I'm sorry, but in these sort of games, you defend. You're a defender, for God's sake.
Definitely. Especially with the likes of Aguero there.
Yeah, you got one of the best strikers in the world up front.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Oh, well, and Wenger at the end when he,
When he celebrated.
Yeah, when he celebrated. Didn't see him celebrate when he beat Leicester 2-1.
No, he didn't. And I just wanted to raise that point because what really got me is that we saw earlier Spurs slipped up, lost. So you know what Wenger and the team should have been thinking? You know what? Great opportunity to still overtake them, even though you haven't done well. At least cheer up the fans a little bit by trying to aim to finish above Spurs. So I didn't understand Wenger's tactics. Like, surely go for the 3 points and aim to finish above Spurs, or play for the point and finish the cement 3rd or 4th, automatic Champions League qualification. Surely the mentality is supposed to be higher, don't you agree?
Of course, but he's happy with the 4. He's happy with the top 4. He saw at the end, but he was happy with that. I mean, I don't get his substitution. He took El Neni off for Coquelin. Now, if you're going to see a game out for a draw, surely you take Ramsey off, who's had a poor game. El Neni's done nothing wrong. He's done his job. But he takes him off and puts Coquelin on, where El Neni's more of a defensive midfielder than Ramsey.
Definitely, because El Neni can defend.
Another thing, El Neni's probably better going forward than Ramsey, potentially. Maybe in the final third, Ramsey has that edge. But in terms of creating, El Neni has it. I didn't understand that. I mean, we were just poor. I don't know how we didn't lose that game. I mean, another City would have battered us 6-2.
Definitely.
It was so poor. And people say, oh, it's a great result. Yeah, it's a great result because we were crap. City should be kicking themselves after that. I don't know how they didn't win that, to be honest. I mean, we had how many shots on goal in the second half?
We had 2 shots on target all game, and both of them were the goals.
Oh, there you go.
Wayne, what did you think of that substitution? Did you think we either should? Because also I saw on the telly that Cazorla was getting ready, and then he got told to sit back down. I think what Wenger was actually trying to do there is he was planning to take Sanchez off until the goal. That's what I really think. I didn't think he had any intention to take Ramsey off. I think he was trying to get Sanchez off, and he was told to, just because he got the goal, he sat back down. They took Coquelin on for their name. So, did you agree with that, or would you agree?
Look, to be honest with you, what I disagreed with was not starting with Coquelin in the first place. I would have personally started with Coquelin and El Neni in the middle, and I probably would have just. I'm not too sure. I probably would have left maybe Iwobi out, even though he has been playing okay, but he's been kind of struggling the last couple of games. Maybe it's all coming a bit too quick for him. I don't know. Sometimes sometimes you can get 3 or 4 good games on adrenaline alone, and then when the dust settles, it's when people start to figure you out. Like, this is the Premier League. Like, these are clever teams we're playing against with any amount of videos beforehand, like pre-match. Like, these guys know how to prepare against people like teams like that, and sometimes they can find you out. Sanchez has been a little bit found out this season because they know that he played on the left-hand side and just cuts in, so people decide to double up and stop him cutting in on from the left-hand side. So that's why Wenger's playing him on the right-hand side the last couple of weeks, because he's not getting much joy from the left, because they double up and make sure that when he cuts inside, there's somebody there to kind of almost double mark him in a way. And that's the best way of stopping Alexis Sanchez. I'm surprised people didn't do it last year, but they copped on too late. But this year they have, and he's had a good return all the same, because he is a bit of a class player. But I would have given Iwobi a rest, because it was a kind of a big game. To be honest with you, I probably would have put Ramsey on the right hand side rather than take him out of the middle. We just needed that bit of cover defensively, and I didn't think Iwobi offered it, and I didn't think Sanchez definitely didn't offer it to Monreal. Or Bellerin on the right or the left hand side when he was interchanging those wings. He didn't, and that we were getting absolutely ass raped down the wings. So we came within 6 inches, if even 6 inches, of losing that match when Bonnie hit the crossbar. Like, Czech was buried all ends up. Like, we were lucky, and to be honest with you, we didn't really have anything. If we lost 3-2, we would have had no complaints, because we didn't have any chances that we could say, oh, well, they missed the crossbar, but we missed this chance. We didn't really miss anything else, really. We had our 2 chances and scored. That was it. And we didn't like. And this is a poor Man City team.
Yeah,
this is a really poor Man City team. We made these guys look fucking mustard yesterday, and it's just symptomatic of our season, is that we make poor teams look good. We're making poor teams look good all year, and this was another game where teams are now going out saying, hang on, we can fucking take it to Arsenal now. We're going to go in and dominate the middle, and we're going to put it in their face, and we're getting back to that kind of, teams are starting to get physical with us and quick and press us hard and press us fast. There was a time when we had footballers who could get us out of that, players like Cazorla and Ozil, but we didn't have either of those. So I'd say Pellegrini was licking his lips when he seen Ozil and Cazorla weren't in the starting 11, because we've seen what Cazorla did to them last year. They press, but we were able to get out of any situation because he was so clever on the ball. But we had nobody. Like, Ramsey in the middle wasn't clever enough on the ball. Wilshere done his best. He's quick at he's good at getting you on. He has that ability to kind of, when the ball is coming on his feet, he can just turn his back, protect the ball, and roll a player and get himself in to an attacking position with the ball. And nobody does that on their team like Wilshere does. And I think we missed that, because he gets you from like you could be on the halfway line, it could be a throw in, but Wilshere just rolls a player lovely, and he gets that ball moving, and all of a sudden he's attacking their back four. That's what we have lacked all season, because we've missed Wilshere and we've missed Cazorla, so we haven't had either option, and all we were stuck with most of the season was Ramsey's kind of brainlessness in the middle of the park, and his inability to be able to find the correct balls into the channels to create problems. As a midfield player, that's what you should be able to do, if no matter where in the middle of the park you are. If you're a deep line midfielder, if you're a little bit more of a midfielder who likes to stretch, you have to be able to pick balls out to the strikers. Ramsey doesn't do it for me, and Coquelin is able to do it better than Ramsey, and he's a deep line midfielder, but Wilshere does it lovely, Cazorla does it lovely, and I have no complaints about the season. When we're missing players like that and you don't replace them, what do you expect? You can't expect to win a league with when you're missing players of that kind of caliber,
Exactly. This is why you need squad depth, and he should have known in January that Cazorla was going to be out for so long, and Wilshere.
Hang on, because all was out in November. Wilshere was out from August or September. Like, spend the money, get it. If you have to get somebody in who's 33, 32, 33, who's pure quality, like that guy Soriano of Villarreal, like, you could have spent 10, 12 million. He's 31. You could have spent 10 or 12 million on him, brought him in, and just got you over the line for that Premier League, for the Premier League win. He would have made a difference,
Yeah.
But we haven't got that. We haven't got that mentality as a club,
No, we don't. We simply don't. And also, Isco was available. Why don't house up on him?
I'll tell you what.
He's got too much faith in Ramsey. That's the problem. And you'll think Wilshere's coming back, Ozil, Cazorla. I think I can kind of understand why he didn't go for Isco.
Because he was available, so snap him up.
But you have to understand. Like, I know you're saying that you can't understand why he wouldn't go for him. You have to understand what this club is now about, and this is the big issue, is that we do not have the ambition to sign players like that. You can throw Sanchez and you can throw Ozil in my face all you want, right? But that's, to me, it's a bit of a false dawn. We signed these two players, and this should have been the gates opening. This should have been, oh, fuck me, now Arsenal have the money to spend. It was almost like, this is too good to be true. And it turned out to be too good to be true, because it turns out that 3 years later, we have the same ambition now as we did back then. We just don't have the balls to take risks in the transfer market and sign players for big money that seem too much of a financial risk. Like, we're going to have, we have to pay big wages if we want. So fucking what? There's unbelievable amounts of money in the Premier League nowadays. Pay a little extra for a little bit of quality. Otherwise, what's going to happen? You're going to end up in third place. You're going to have fans on your back. You're going to have fucking stadium protests. Why? Because you don't fill the gaps where they need to be filled. Everybody can see it. We're not rocket scientists. We're just fans. We can see where the problems lie, and we can see where the gaps need to be filled. But they're not filled year in, year out. We need a striker for 3 years, and it hasn't been done. This is what pisses off the fans, is that they pay top dollar for tickets. They fucking throw themselves up and down the length and breadth of the country to go to away games, and across Europe going to away games, paying big money for flights, you name it, everything. And what do you get in return? You just don't get you don't get value for money out of the club, because they don't invest where they should invest, because the money is there to invest, but they don't. So that, to me, signals a real lack of ambition, and it's more of a priority towards the money, the safety of having money, rather than the risk of spending money.
Well, another thing is when Wenger's typical excuses is, he wasn't available.
That's bullshit.
Of course they're available. If you're a big club like Arsenal and you say to him, right, I want him, here's £30 million, and they say no, it will unsettle the player. The player will demand to leave. I don't get this. He's not available. He is available if you put the money down.
Yeah.
If the player will come, he will say, I want to leave, transfer request, done.
There are cases.
We have too much respect for the clubs. No, we won't sign him because they'll get a bit annoyed. We won't sign him. We'll sign him when he's like 2 years, I don't know, in the summer or something like that, when it's too bloody late. That's the problem. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Say, no. Well, if you don't want 30 mil, we'll give you 40 mil.
I agree,
I don't agree with this. He's not available, because a lot of people say, but he wasn't available. Of course he's available. If you put the money down, he's available. Believe me.
There are times where a club legitimately won't sell a player, which is understand. Okay, right, we can accept that, because if we inquire about the player and say, look, we have 40 million to give you if the player, and they're just plain and simple tell you, look, he's not for sale, like Aubameyang. Like, I believe we went to inquire about him a couple of times last summer, but it just wasn't for sale, and they weren't for selling, which is fair enough. You can accept that. But what I don't understand is someone like Antoine Griezmann, who the summer before went for small money from Sociedad, who had an unbelievable season. He was just about to break in to be French number one striker, an international player, goes to Atletico Madrid, and he was, even at Sociedad, it was no secret that this guy was going to be top quality. He was only 21, and he had the potential there, and this guy was already breaking into the French national team. And Wenger being a Frenchman, it's to me it's ridiculous how he didn't say to him, hang on a minute there, this guy's for sale. It's Real Sociedad. These guys will sell fucking anything. You know what I mean? They will sell anybody. The they're a selling club. You have to recognise who's a selling club and who's not a selling club. They are certainly a selling club. But what do? We let them just go to Atletico, you know. Now, it could be said that Atletico, you know, they were league champions at the time. Maybe they looked like a more attractive bet. But the fact that we didn't even bother trying, you know, I'm sure Wenger, being a Frenchman and, you know, would have, and being, you know, obviously the man that he is and the reputation that he has, might have some sort of a lure for a player like Griezmann, you know, being French as well. But the fact that we didn't even try, and we've just decided to persevere with Theo Walcott and Giroud for another season, it's just, to me, it's just, you know what, the frustrating part is that we're always looking for solutions from within.
Yeah.
And we're never prepared to take the risk of just adding someone to the squad. Oh, I don't want to upset the team. That will kill this player. That will kill that player. Bollocksology. So how do you know that bringing in a top class player might bring in players on a notch? I mean, I remember when Ozil signed, you know, essentially at the time Ramsey was a 10 and Wilshere had took the number 10. But he came in and brought Aaron Ramsey to another level, you know, and that can happen. Suarez brought players like Sturridge and Sterling to another level and almost won a fucking league with them, you know.
And on the point of that Suarez bit, we actually had the chance to sign him when he was desperate to get out of Liverpool, and because we haven't learned from that. It's pretty clear we haven't learned.
But the guy had scored. The funny part about it is that I'm no scout or anything like that, but I was well educated on Luis Suarez's figures and his reputation at Ajax. Like, this guy was scoring goals, like banging them in, and I was like, oh, this guy could be a good player, you know. I'm surprised that we didn't even bother trying to get, like, he went for 23 million to Liverpool. Like 23 million to Liverpool. I mean, surely the fuck, like, I know at the time, like, he went in 2009, I think, but surely, like, we had 23 million knocking around somewhere. We didn't spend, I think, for 2 summers, we didn't sign a single player.
Mm.
You know, surely we had 23 million, or surely there was a bank that would give glorious Arsenal a 23 million loan. You know, these guys are so good with their books. Like, we give them a little 25 million just to go sign that guy. He wasn't on magic wages. He was only on 70,000 a week or something when he signed for Liverpool. Signed for 23 million, got his nice little sign-on fee, stayed with there for 5 years or something like that. And, you know, these are the type of things, like, why do we miss out on this? Why did we miss out on Suarez originally? Never mind from Liverpool.
Do you know what? This has happened for about 13 years. Do you remember with Cristiano Ronaldo? I mean, I watched that documentary the other day, and they said Arsenal were the first team to make contact with Ronaldo. But apparently we weren't willing to take him straight away. We said, we'll take him, but we'll loan him back to you for a season. So Man United then came in and said, and saw him play and thought, right, we'll take him now. So we missed out on him. Wenger said we missed out on him by a couple 100,000. Surely if you see players like that, you just know have it, you do it straight away. Same with Zlatan.
Yeah.
He came for a try, Yaya Toure. So Wenger's always missed a trick in the transfer window. Yes, he can get a good player now and then, like a Koscielny, and then I can accept that. But these aren't players who are going to win us the league. I like Koscielny, but he's not world class. He's not at that level. I mean, the first goal yesterday just summed it up. He didn't put his body. He should be putting his body on the line, not jumping up like a little fairy, and then that ball go through his legs. So, you know, I think Wenger's always had that stubbornness in the transfer window. He likes to, you know, find and nurture those players, and I don't think he'll change, to be honest.
No, sadly not. Also, you were going on about the point about Koscielny, about that one of the goals he conceded. Yeah. I think it's a similar type of goal we've been conceding all season. You know why? It's because there's no leadership, there's no shouting, there's no one back there commanding the defence, saying, right, you Marku, you go to him, you go for it, go in, tackle, out.
Yeah,
there's none of that.
Well, I'm a central defender, and I know I play on a local level, but I do not stop shouting for 90 minutes. It's natural, you know. You have to talk to the defence, and I swear, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Charlie Adam have an interview with 5 Live, and he said, when you play Arsenal, do you hear new players talking to each other? And he goes, no, I barely hear anyone talking to each other. So that's one of the problems. They're too nice to each other. Wenger inherited the team with Adams, Keogh, proper players. He weren't afraid to tell it to their best mates and say, mate, you're in a fucking shit game here, son. Sort yourself out.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Cazorla saying that to Sanchez?
No, he wouldn't.
Could you imagine that? Cazorla would start laughing, and then Sanchez would just storm. It's just too nice at this club. The players are too nice to each other. I don't know. It frustrates me so much.
Yeah.
Honestly, lack of there's no leaders. Yeah, Jack Wilshere may have it, but then they'll probably turn him to a. You just want to tell how it is.
Yeah, definitely. I can understand what you're on about there. We'll change the subject a little bit, and now I want to just talk about Ozil. Now, yesterday I was hearing rumours that the main rumour that spread around that he was out with because he had a slight knee injury. But do you actually slightly think there's more to it? Because when I saw a few things on Twitter and I saw a few Arsenal Fan TV interviews, particularly from DT, saying there's more to it. So, what do you think on that? Do you think?
Yeah, I think there's more to it. To be honest, I think something has happened. Yeah, I think he's off. I think Sanchez will stay, but Ozil's going to go. I mean, this is Ozil's third season now. He's won 2 FA Cups. Yeah, great, but he hasn't won a major title, has he? So I think something's obviously happened there. Obviously, they're stalled on the contract negotiations, so I don't think he'll play against Villa either. So I think if what DT said about Giroud, Sanchez, and Ozil, then well, we've got a lot to worry about for next season because we will not be able to attract a player like Ozil to our club.
No. What are your views on that, Wayne? Do you think there's more to it, or do you think
I'm not too sure. I'm gonna hold fire on that for the time being. It's very easy to jump to conclusions at this point of the season when everything seems to be red hot. Bad news becomes tragic news. Good news is incredibly good. You know what I mean? It all seems to be everything blows over very quickly when we're in a moment like this. When the club is in a moment like this, what I think is it's quite simple. If Wenger stays, which he is going to stay, it will be very, very simple for Wenger to appease Ozil and Sanchez if they're the two players that are, that are unhappy. It'd be so easy for them, to just put a little arm around them and say, look, I know we came close last year, bang, bang, bang. This is what we've got coming in. I never normally let people know what kind of players are going. I have a deal on the table for Granit Xhaka. I have that Dutch striker coming in, and I'm going to be signing. I'm going to just put this out there. So Daniel Sturridge, he's coming. So I have 3 players coming in. We're going to add 1 or 2 more bits of quality in defence, and hopefully we'll kick on. Those are the type of. This is purely hypothetical now, but he could throw 3 different names at Ozil, or 4 different names, and say, look, we've got 4 players coming in here next season. Give us another season, and see how you go. I think we can go big next year, and that's all it would really take, But Ozil, of course, would have to see those players coming in. If they didn't come in, he'd be looking to move before the end of August. I would think that if it didn't happen, and we stay as we are, oh yeah, definitely, there's a big danger of the likes of Ozil and Sanchez leaving because, there'll be big clubs still coveting players like Ozil and Sanchez.
Should have done it last season though, shouldn't he? Really, when we won the FA Cup, you should have said to Ozil, right? Because I think Ozil was probably feeling the same as well as Sanchez, because he wasn't happy. He was happy he won the FA Cup, but he wanted more. So surely, yeah, Czech was great, but to not add to that, to get that momentum going, I just don't understand.
It was arrogance, pure arrogance, and he was convinced. He was convinced in his head that fuck them. Everybody's saying that I should sign this and I should sign that. I'm going to prove them all wrong, and I'm going to sign nobody and win the league. That's how good I am. What did he do? He didn't win the league.
Too much faith in Giroud and Walcott on it, and it's not just Wenger's fault. The players have got to take some slack for it as well. But you're only as good as your manager, really. I mean, I don't understand why he didn't sign Lacazette. I mean, he's bang on form now. I know he had a bit of a dodgy start to the season, but all that transfer speculation would have got to his head a little bit. So I think he would have been perfect for us because he's not. I wouldn't say he's world class, but he's a better finisher than Walcott. And
Better finishing
there's
Giroud
a
as
lot
well.
of players. There's a lot of players better than Walcott, to be honest.
Definitely.
I mean, just Jermaine Defoe's. I mean, imagine if Jermaine Defoe, he'd be on 30 goals.
Yeah.
I mean,
As a striker, Defoe is better, and as a winger, Navas is better. So what we have is like a hybrid, a hybrid worse version of Navas and a worse version of Defoe in one player. That's what Walcott is. Like he'll never ever make it to the top of this. He's 27 years old. This is the peak of Theo Walcott's powers. He had one terrific season where, purple patch, everything happened for him. He got lucky bounces. He got everything he needed, and he just kept scoring goals, which was great for him. And we all thought, okay, fair play. This is what you need. You need a winger on the right hand side who can chip in with 20 goals and 14. But we also need a fucking out and out striker. Imagine having Walcott in that type of form, 20 goals and 13 assists. Sanchez 70 goals and 10 assists, and a striker clicking in with 25 goals. This is 70 odd goals there for the taking. That would win you any league, but we don't have it. I believe that Giroud is holding us back, and as a striker for this club, he's going to get chances and he's going to put them away. And the problem is when he puts them away, people turn around and believe that we told you Giroud is always a great player. Giroud is not a great player. He'll never be an elite player. The same way Walcott won't. We need a major change up front, and we need it across the front. Sanchez and two more is what we need, and Ozil as a 10. We need two completely new players, whether it be, this Vincent Janssen guy and I don't know, fucking Marco Reus for all I know. But you know what I mean. We need smart, clever players up front, experienced players. We don't need to be taking risks anymore on these youngsters. You leave the youngsters in as squad players, but we need to get these good players in if you're going to challenge in Europe and the league.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought one of the main reasons, one of the key reasons why we did not go on and win this title this season, which was simply because we did not sign a top-class striker. Because think about it, Mr. Ozil, he's had a fantastic season. Out of all his pass rates and assists, only 30%, I think, have gone in and found a way in the back of the net. And
shocking.
I'm sure he's even getting frustrated that. Because 1 minute he's like, when he was feeding it through to the likes of Ronaldo and Benzema, he was pretty much in most of the time, and now who's feeding it through to? I'm sure he's getting frustrated here because 30% has gone in the back of the net, and that shows you how poor our conversion rate is.
Well, it's been the problem also for the last 3 seasons, hasn't it? Really, I mean, Mesut Ozil is in the prime of his career. Oh, I don't think he's 26, 27 now. So 27. Well, so, this is the time where he wants to have the most successful part of his career, and he's not having that at Arsenal. And I don't think he will have it because next season will be the exact same. I mean, I think we'll sign a couple of players, but with Wenger in charge, I just don't think it'll still be the same. I think we could sign Zlatan, and I think we're going off subject a bit now, but we score more goals, but somehow it just won't happen. I mean, even 6 years ago we scored one of the highest amount of goals in the league, and we still finished 4th. So, what makes you think it's going to change even if we do sign the players?
I don't think it's just his effort in the transfer market that's the problem. I think it's also his mentality and his tactics. Just like I'll go back to what I was talking just before. You saw that way yesterday, how Wenger played that last 10 minutes, just went ultra defensive, and the team and the players clearly played to the point of Wenger celebrating. Surely, go out there, get the win, and then try and do that, because we could have easily done it, but we didn't. We never showed any period in that time like we wanted to go on and win that game. Even when we got the goals, we sat back, and then when we were up front with the ball, we did nothing, and we kept losing the ball. So I think it's a mentality problem that's got to change as well.
I don't think it will change, to be honest, mate. I think it's just going to be the same and the same. I want Wenger more than anything to win the league and leave on the high, but
Yeah, same
it's
here.
just not going to happen. I love the man, but I hate the man at the same time. It's just so frustrating. Everyone knows what we need, but him. Someone's got to tell him, say, look, Arsenal, come on, you've got too much faith in these players, and they're letting you down. This is why we need someone like David Dean back at the club. I mean, you're not going to get Skazida saying, "Oh, Wenger, you need to sign this," and they're happy. That celebration in full-time whistle was like, that was for the owner. That was on behalf of the owner. It's like, yes, 4th place, 40 mil in the bank, brilliant. Stan's going to be happy. Skazida's going to be happy. Let's raise the season ticket prices again and have even more money. 8.5 million again for me next year. And he's probably going to get a bonus as well at the end of the season.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, do you agree with it, Wayne?
Yeah, it's like players like Ozil is going. As I said to you before, they're going to need to see like every summer for the last I don't know how long we've been saying that this is make or break this summer. This is make or break this summer. The following summers, this is make or break this summer. Every summer. But like I firmly believe that there's never ever been so much pressure on Wenger and so much pressure on the club as right now at this particular point in time. I don't think there's ever been. It's an absolute hot pot kettle. It's like a kettle ready to explode at the moment. I've never seen the club in a state that it's been in now, and so that would lead me to suggest, or to lead me to believe that this summer really genuinely is the make or break one. And if he doesn't deliver, can you imagine the pandemonium if we sign nobody or sign one player, a couple of young players in, and we don't really add to the squad, and we couldn't get anybody, he wasn't available. You imagine that, and then the first game of the season we get beat at home or some. Oh my God, it's just. This is how close we are. We are that close to that happening. This is a real possibility, and if that happens, he'd have no choice but he would have to walk. I mean, he's responsible for these types of decisions. Everything falls on the manager. There is clubs where the transfer policy falls on a committee, falls on a director of football, but everything falls on Wenger. He makes the decisions. He makes the team choices. He makes all the calls, and he sets the wages for players. I mean, this is an absurd amount of power one man has that he shouldn't be taking on that much. He should leave that type of stuff to other people and concentrate on the football. He's forgetting about the football end of it. We don't even play that type of football anymore. Our identity as a football team that we became revered for is gone. And we're a laughingstock at the moment. And if we don't do things properly this summer in the transfer market, we'll be another laughingstock, and we're only going to put pressure on ourselves. The team is going to feel it. The team is going to know. The fans will be putting pressure on them. It's just going to get worse. It has to be addressed this summer. And if it's not addressed this summer, early I might add, if it's not addressed early,
get him a pre-season. I was going to ask, in his press conference yesterday, he said, "I'm building the team for the future." Now, what struck me is, haven't you been doing that for the last, 12 years? Yeah, 12 years. So why are you building the team for the future?
Imagine coming third in the league. Imagine coming third in the league, being top at January and saying you're building a team for the future. For Christ's sake, you're top in January. Like, just go for it. Up the team for the future. Get the team over the line and take the win. It'll build itself then. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah, it's not good enough.
It's just not going to change, I'm afraid. What needs to happen is someone at the club needs to come out and explain to the fans what the hell went on this season, and say, you know what, we've ballsed up this season. Oh no, we've ballsed up a few seasons, but this season in particular, we have completely ballsed it up. So we're going to do this in the summer. Not obviously not going to say who we're going to sample. We're going to add in the summer, and then Wenger needs to make a statement about if he's going to stay or go in 2017, because I feel the fans need to know as well, because all this Wenger out, Wenger in, it's killing the fans, man. It's horrible to see, and you've seen that video go around yesterday. I don't want to see that after a game. It's going to happen again and again. So the club needs to take action. They had stewards at the game yesterday, so they know how poisonous it is. So surely some of them should go to their boss and say, look, this is going on within the fans. We need to do something about this. Just make a statement or something, just to, give us some optimism. Because I've never, I'm only 23, but I've never seen a club our club sink so low. And it's just not on the pitch, it's the fans as well. I mean, other clubs like Blackpool are going through hell, but the fans are united together. That's the difference. Charlton Athletic going through a crisis, but the fans are united together. You name me a club that there's fans divided and fighting every single game. Because I actually can't think of any.
Me neither, no.
And the funny part about it is that if Wenger was to come out this summer and say, this is my final season, I believe that would stop. I believe people would just get behind him for the year, and we might have a different atmosphere for a little while.
Of course.
If people knew he was going at the end of the season, and he was going to just say, okay, I'm finished at the end of my contract, this is my last year as Arsenal manager. It's been a great journey. Thanks everybody for everything. This is my last year. Let's go out with a bang. I believe you wouldn't see an atmosphere like it at the Emirates.
It'd be amazing. We get behind him 100%. Yeah. I mean, we always do anyway, regardless of what we think. Guys at Wenger out, Wenger in, we'll always get behind the team. Because I want the managers to do well. I want to eat the biggest humble pie ever.
As I say, I don't want this. I don't like to go on to any show, Craig's show or this show, and slate the manager completely and turn it into a Wenger bash. Like my opinion is clear, and a lot of people know my opinion on it. I love Wenger as a man. I've always really respected him. I love listening to him talk. I love listening to what he has to say. I could sit there and listen to the guy all day speaking. I really do. I think he's a great man in that type of sense. He's a very well educated, very infectious kind of a guy to listen to. But my opinion is, on the pitch, football-wise, he has taken us as far as we can go. And every club will always look. There's clubs that make the decision for the manager. Most clubs make the decision for the manager. Look, Mr. Manager, you've taken us as far as you can go, and I think it's time for us to just step on and get someone else in. You've brought us to this point now, and we're grateful for it, but we're going to move on to another level now football-wise. Most clubs will make that decision themselves. Unfortunately, that decision lies with Arsene himself in this club. He has to decide whether he's taking the club, and as we all know, he is a stubborn man in that sense, and he will never ever believe. If he was fighting relegation, he wouldn't believe that he was taking this club as far as he can, and that's what I believe. He's taken us a great deal, a great way. He's brought us from, mediocre kind of a club when he took over, mid-level finishes, not really challenging for titles, really kind of just fading away to the pinnacle of European football again, for a brief spell. And for 8 years we were up there every single season. And unfortunately, with circumstances that they decided upon themselves to do, which was the stadium, which we all thought was a great move, and look, just bear with us 10 years and we'll be fine. Our mortgage payments will go down and we'll be fine. Everything will be good. We'll have money to spend. We'll be like Bayern Munich. It's just going to be a great time to be an Arsenal fan. Just bear with us, bear with us. We have to sell all our players. 10 years of selling the best players we had over and over again. And then when we're told that the money is there, we don't get it. We don't get what we waited for. This is what the fucking killing, the sticking point with all the fans is that we're not getting what we were promised. We're not getting that ambition to be one of the top clubs in Europe. We're a laughingstock, last 16 for the last 6 years. And this is the problem you see. So, as I say, in my opinion, that trend will just continue with Arsenal because I can't see any other way out of it. I can just see the same thing happening over and over again. Like, people are predicting that we're going to be going out. Our season ends in February usually every year, and you could call it now. This is May in 2016, and you can call Arsenal's season is finished in February 2017. You can call that now. We could go on record and say that, and that's what's going to happen, because the last God knows how many years it has happened, and this has to change. I say, well, how does it change? You know, you get somebody in with a fresh approach who changes things up. You know, signs the players he wants, and it is a risk taking in a new manager. You know, it is always a risk, but top clubs take that risk. You know, if it doesn't work, okay, you just have to find a solution. You have to find a solution for what's best for the club. You have to try until you get it right. But the club is so happy to take that 4th place and that few bob every single summer. They know they're guaranteed it with Wenger. They don't need to bother risking going any further. You know, taking on a guy who could possibly win you the league, but could also possibly get you 5th, and we miss out on that little few bob. Is it worth the risk? No, it's not. So we won't do it. That's the problem. That's the mentality problem at the club. Is that we don't want to go that extra yard, that next level. You know, it's sad to see that, because we as a club got from the time Wenger arrived until the time the Emirates was being built. We had that ambition. We pushed hard, signed the players we wanted to sign, and we pushed hard, gave it everything we had. But we don't do that anymore as a club. It's a change of ownership, this American ownership, and it's not for me, to be honest with you. It's the owners have a lot to account for as regards to decisions being made at this club. They're just being found out this season because the pressure is exposing the decisions they've made in the past a lot more. And we all know that change needs to come from some part of the club, and there's a lot of work has to be done as regards Wenger's future needs to be decided. And I think the fans deserve to know, you know, what his plans are, you know. But maybe he doesn't want to step down after a year. Maybe he wants to sign another 3 years, and he knows that if he announces that this summer, it'd be fucking pandemonium.
Oh dear.
Who knows? Like, you know, this is the problem.
Yeah.
Sticky situation we're in.
Yeah. Well, supposing Wenger did go this summer and buy what we needed, some top class players and that lot, do you still think the fans will get excited, and do you still think we could still be up there, or do you just think?
I will. I will. Because we signed Mesut Ozil and I was absolutely buzzing my tits off, and then look what happened the next season. Top of the league for most of the season. Lose 5-1 at Liverpool, lose 6-3 at City, lose 6-0 at Chelsea. Nothing changes. Signed Sanchez, buzzing. You know, had a poor start, did better, got knocked out of the Champions League to Monaco.
Oh yeah, Monaco.
Won the FA Cup. That's good. I can't complain about that. You know, we still bottom of the league. And then this summer, sign check, absolutely buzzing my tits off again. And then you can see the pattern I'm talking about now. Honestly, mate, you can sign Messi, Ronaldo, and I will still finish 3rd or 4th. I mean, I don't believe he'll buy the right players. I just don't believe he'll buy the right players. So no, I'm not going to get excited, because I've got excited for the last 10 years and I've just ended up disappointed. So now if I just start off disappointed, then maybe something will change, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah, well, understand.
I think there's an answer to your question there. Like, the actual question you asked as well was that if he did sign the players, it does genuinely depend on what players he does sign. Look, he could come out with anybody. He could come out, you know, you just don't know. Like, we could be linked with this one player all summer, and then he goes and buys somebody completely different. That's what he does. But if we do sign 3 to 4, we need to be spending over 100 million this summer. It's as simple as that. We need to be spending at least over 100 million, 120 to 130, including a top striker. If we do sign the top striker, maybe 2, who knows? If we sign two, somebody who can play as a wide man but also as a 9. If we sign two like that, and a good midfielder and somebody to bolster the defence. If we sign 4, that would be like that. That's the midfielder, the defender, the two, either the wide front man and the striker. If we sign 4, and we've spent big money on them, and we know that they're a little bit proven, they've got good track records, and look, I will get excited in that sense because we've done the deals. But the problem is getting excited before the deals are done is a big difference between getting excited after the deals have been done. Because we don't tend to get the deals done at all.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But if we do get them done and we sign at least 4, starting 11 quality, not squad players, starting 11 quality to add to what we have there, I will get excited. I'll be happy to have a look at the season from that point. But even as Adam said there, he doesn't believe that Wenger will get them over the line. I personally agree with that. I don't think he will get them over the line either. I think we need at least 4 top players to come in there, and 4 players along the spine of the team: centre half, centre midfield, striker, and a kind of a wide man striker who can play left, right, or 9. To add to what we have there, and I think that could just be a massive improvement if everything clicks. But I don't believe that we're going to get all of that done this summer, and that's the problem.
Yeah, well, you see, I can see what you mean. Wenger usually does do some of the job, but he doesn't finish. He doesn't. But we saw the summer before that he did do some good business, but it's a shame towards the end of that window he messed up by not signing a backup centre back or another centre back, and not signing. I think it was a CDM he didn't sign. And that was that season.
I don't get why we didn't sign Al Nene in the summer, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I've said that before myself, yeah.
That's a weird one. I think if we signed him in the summer, maybe things might have been different. But I think Al Nene is a bit too little, too late. I like Al Nene; he's a real good player. So it was a shame we didn't sign him in the summer because I think he probably was available. Because I think we were scouting for about 18 months. But
that's right.
That's Wenger, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the signings.
Yeah, I have to agree. Just before we wrap it up, because we've been going on for a while, I just want to ask you to another quick question. Now, because it does look like we have got Champions League football, even though we weren't satisfied for that. Do you still think we can catch and overtake Tottenham? Do you still think we can? Or do you think it's a bit too much? What?
First of all, if we do finish above Tottenham, I'm not going to be ecstatic because...
Yeah, I know.
But, yeah, I think we can because it all depends really on how Sunderland do tomorrow night. If Sunderland win and relegate Newcastle, then I think Spurs will smash them, to be honest. If Sunderland don't win, I think Newcastle will get a result at Tottenham because Tottenham... I think they'll be happy now they've got top 4. I know they want to finish above us, but I don't think the manager and players will. Well, they might be a bit fussed about it, but I don't think it'll be a disaster if we finish above them again because that's just normal for them anyway. We will beat Villa convincingly, I hope anyway.
Yeah, we should do.
But yeah, I think we can, but it all depends how Sunderland get on tomorrow. So, but. I personally think Sunderland will draw tomorrow, so I think we will finish. Hang on. How many points behind them? 2?
2, yeah.
Oh, I don't. I think it'll be a draw at Newcastle, so I think we'll be level. We'll lose out on goal difference, I think.
Yeah, we needed to beat City.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 71-71.
Yeah. So Wayne, just quickly, do you think we can? Do you think we'll be second, or do you think it'll be first?
No, third is like I think it's Spurs are 1 to 50 on or something to finish second, or something like that. Something ridiculous. The bookies don't normally get those types of things wrong.
Newcastle literally have to beat Spurs, and we have to win.
Newcastle won't beat Spurs. Spurs could put their ladies team out and beat them. They're fucking shy.
They are bad.
They're rubbish. Benitez or not Benitez, it doesn't really matter. Spurs are far too good for them. Even should have been far too good by Southampton. Granted, they should have been, but yeah. But
That was a pressure though, isn't it? They hadn't been there before, so you
they
watch
have
them
no.
off pressure now.
Yeah, they've no pressure now. This is it. That's what I'm saying. They've no pressure now. They can just go out and enjoy themselves and play football, and that's they'll score an early goal against Newcastle, and that'll be the end of it.
And the problem is,
we're nailed on for third.
Yeah.
sorry, and the problem is there'll be fans out there who will accept it if we finish second, saying, "Oh, it's a great season. We finished above Tottenham again."
Yeah.
Oh, please, come on, man. And they say, "Oh, I mean," and people are saying, "Well, Leicester won the league, so all 19 teams managers should be sacked." It's like, no, come on.
No,
It was the best opportunity we've had in ages.
Definitely.
Liverpool done something about it, City doing something about it, United are going to do something about it, Chelsea done something about it, so they're sorted for next season. I can't stand when fans are saying, "Oh, well, it's a good season. We finished with Spurs. We're progressing. We finished third last season. I'm going to finish second this season."
Yeah, it's only because everyone else has dropped back. If Chelsea City was still up there, then we'll still be in our fourth place position. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I don't think it is if you progress. I think it's yeah. So we'll wrap up the show there. We've been going on for a while, so as you can tell, yeah, it's not a bad point yesterday, but still the context of things isn't good enough. And like I said in my formal review, heads have to roll at the end of the season, which is simply hasn't been good enough. So thanks very much, Wayne, for joining me. Did you enjoy your show today?
Oh yeah. Fair play. Thanks for having me on, Seb.
That's no worries, and thanks Adam again for joining me.
No problem, mate.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah, and thanks for all the viewers for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It really helps me out. And until then, I'll be speaking to you before the Villa game this weekend. And until I next see you, come on, you Reds.